A while later, Nancy grew strangely sad all of a sudden. She finally realized that she was so distant from this classmate of hers. It was almost noon when Wilbur left Willow Corp, and he had not even had breakfast yet. He sat down at a burger stall, ordering 2 burgers to fill his stomach. Just as he finished the first one, he received a call from an anonymous number. It was someone from the Owens family, saying that Sea Lake Island was ready to be transferred to him, and all he had to do was sign his name. Wilbur told the caller to pick him up in Castleberry in half an hour. After eating, Wilbur called a car to go home. He was greeted by the sight of a quiet young man holding a briefcase, waiting for him at the door. Wilbur glanced at the young man, who bowed deeply to him. "Good afternoon, Mr. Penn. My name is Sean Owens. My grandfather sent me here to have you sign the transfer documents." It seemed like Sean was from the 3rd generation of the Owens family. From the way he was treating Wilbur, Jeremy had probably already announced to the entire Owens family what happened. Wilbur nodded, letting him into the house and signing the documents at once. After everything was done, Sean stowed the documents away neatly into his briefcase before getting to his feet and bowing. "Mr. Penn, Sea Lake Island is yours from now on. We've cleared out all our people from the island, and you can do whatever you want with it." Wilbur nodded. Sean bowed respectfully once again and turned to leave. Wilbur could not help but chuckle at the mountain of paperwork on the coffee table. This island was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Jeremy sure was generous. It seemed like Wilbur would really have to look out for him now. After a moment's pause, Wilbur left the house without putting the documents away. He went to a fishing shop and bought himself a set of fishing equipment before ordering a ride to Sea Lake Island. Once he was there, he found a cool spot before setting out his fishing rod and started to fish for the first time in his life. The lake was pretty big, and visitors were allowed to fish there for free. They would just need to book a room at the hotel if they wanted to enter the island. There were a good number of fishing enthusiasts spaced out around the lake, sitting by their spots. Wilbur looked around him for a while, leaning back in his chair. He was feeling a little sleepy. All of a sudden, a huge, shiny motorcycle pulled up near him and stopped. A woman dressed in black with a set of fishing equipment scanned her surroundings, then walked up to Wilbur before casting her rod. "This seems like a pretty good spot. Mind if I sit here?" the lady asked Wilbur. Wilbur looked up at the lady. The lady had a stunning figure. She had heavy makeup on and looked to be in her 30s. Wilbur smiled and nodded. "Sure?" The lady returned a smile and turned back to face the lake. Just like that, time passed slowly. Eventually, the sun began to set. Everyone else fishing around the lake had packed up and gone home for dinner. There was no one else nearby. However, Wilbur and the woman had not moved in the slightest. An entire afternoon had passed, and neither of them had caught a single fish. Just then, the lady grabbed her fishing rod and swung it in Wilbur's direction all of a sudden. The thin fishing line whipped through the air and coiled itself around Wilbur's neck.